Lesson 1 for June 29 to July 5, ready for teaching on Sabbath, July 6. God Created, from the series The Least of These, Ministering to Those in Need, read today by Dr. Percy Harold. Monday, July 1, A Complete World. It is easy to feel homesick for Eden. There is something in the brief descriptions of the garden that God created as the home for Adam and Eve that sparks a note of longing in our hearts. We may not understand how such a world would work, but we feel we would like to experience it. It seems the sense of satisfaction and completeness also was something that God felt. As we read in Genesis 1:31, God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. God made something that was both beautiful and functional. It was exquisite in its design, in both form and practicality. It was vibrant with life and colour, but also filled with everything necessary for life to flourish. No wonder God kept pausing to muse that this world that he was making was good. Question, read Genesis chapter 1. What do you think it meant by the repeated statements that God saw that it was good? In verse 4, and God saw the light, and it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. And verse 10, and God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called seas, and God saw that it was good. And verse 12, and the earth brought forth grass, the herb that yields seed according to its kind, and the tree that yields fruit, whose seed is in itself according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And verse 18, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And verse 25, and God made the beast of the earth according to its kind, cattle according to its kind, and everything that creeps on the earth according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And verse 31, then God saw everything that he had made, and indeed it was very good. So the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Even though written entirely after the fall, the Bible is filled with celebrations of the natural world, such as in Job chapter 38 through to Job chapter 41 and Psalm 148. And we must remember that these are not written as a glimpse looking back to how the world was when first created and before sin. They are written in the present tense, celebrating the goodness that is still evident in our world. Jesus, too, drew examples of God's goodness and care from the natural world. See, for example, Matthew 6, verse 26 and verses 28 to 30. Matthew 6:26, look at the birds of the air, for they neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they? And verse 28 onwards. So why do you worry about clothing? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. And yet I say to you that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. Now if God so clothes the grass of the field, which today is, and tomorrow is thrown into the oven, will he not much more clothe you, O you of little faith? Commending both our reliance on God and an appreciation of the simple gifts that surround us with wonder. If we open our eyes and look at the marvels of creation, we can see that we are truly the recipients of marvellous gifts from our Creator. Our response, even amid trials, should be one of gratitude, thankfulness, and humble surrender to the gift giver. As Seventh-day Adventists, those who both celebrate creation and anticipate God's coming kingdom, we should realize that the beauties, joys, and goodness we see and experience in the world are glimpses of what our world once was and what it will again be. So to finish today, in your experience of the natural world, what do you especially appreciate about the wonders of creation? in your daily life? How might you be able to know the Lord better through the wonders of the natural world? You have been listening to a reading of the Adult Sabbath School Bible Study Guide by Dr. Percy Harold from Queensland, Australia. This service is brought to you by Hope Channel, the Sabbath School Department, and Christian Services for the Blind. Remember, God is always faithful.